Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome back to Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I'm here tonight with Rob and Alex. Feeling a little rusty, boys. I'm finally back. I was off all last week. How's it going?
It's good, dude.
Yeah,
welcome
man.
back. We're happy to have you.
Football started.
Week 1 is in the books.
We're back, baby.
Alex,
the first Monday night Dad Bod Squad episode.
That is true. This is the first of many. I won't be on here usually with you guys, but I'll be on the rest of the days in the week. Alex was texting me like mad yesterday. Victory lapping galore. If there was a definition for it, so I'm excited to do this next year, because if there was a definition for it, it's Alex and his picture, because the dude was texting and he was doing it like nonchalantly too, like, where's T Higgins? No, Mario, nothing to you. I'm just curious where T is, and just straight like doing that all morning, because it was the 1:00 games that were bad for me, specifically with the Etienne, Irv Smith. He's like, Irv Smith competing with 2 other tight ends. I'm like, well, I backed off a little bit there. And then comes the 4:00 games where Mike Williams was nowhere to be seen. And then Alex just disappeared out of Discord. And I didn't hear from till probably 8:00 that night.
I didn't give you any crap for T. Higgins,
First you did, and then he went out. And then you're like, okay, I got it. I'm done.
But on ETN, 100%, I had to. I mean, Irv Smith, it's whatever. I'm mad at both of us for Komet.
I'm not mad about Komet yet.
Yeah, that game's a throw it away game.
He does not believe that. He's ready to toss him. He's ready to toss him.
I might keep him because I'm ready.
I'd go trade for him if I could.
I'll probably drop Robert Woods.
I think Robert Wood. I watched a game. He had 1 reception.
Yeah. Mario called that. I'll give you that, Mario. You were all in on that one.
Yeah, well, I had some misses, so it's not, and I think all of us did. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, it's week 1. None of us know anything yet.
No.
This is true, but
it's definitely the most indicating week.
My Cowboy love did not look great last night.
No, it's not going to look any better.
my CD Lamb and Tony Pollard shares are they might burn a hole in my wallet this year.
It's margin call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Underdog's gonna be calling Rob like,
where's my money?
Yeah, we see you had Tony Pollard here.
No.
Dallas looked. We'll get to Dallas. That is one of the games we're going over. We're going over a little bit over half of them, but it was not good. And it's not going to get better.
We'll get there.
Week.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right.
Everybody take a big, deep breath.
That's Dallas. Well, so the format of our episodes moving forward are going to be kind of pretty simple. The Monday show is going to be reviewing as many games as possible, probably a little over half every time, and then going over to Monday night and what we expect out of that. Tuesday will be some more game reviews, probably 7, I would say. And then we'll also be discussing waiver wires on Tuesday. So some of the waiver wire guys that we like, we'll be discussing that on Tuesday. Usually everybody's waivers run Wednesday.
Yep.
And then Wednesday we're doing injuries. So even like we can mention the injuries on tonight's show and make sure that people are aware that it hurt. But on Wednesday, once we have more updates and once we have full clarity of everything, that's when we'll fully discuss injuries. Our Wednesday show. None of us are doctors or experts in by any means, but what it means for fantasy and how can you prepare and plan going forward with this X player being out. And then Thursdays, it's going to be, Wednesdays also has some game previews. Get ready for the week ahead. And then Thursday as well, we'll have game previews and Thursday night preview. So with that being said, let's first go over the Thursday night game. I know that was last week, and this is probably how it will format every time because we don't do a Friday episode. LA versus Buffalo. So LA looking a little like Dallas, huh? Not as bad. A little sketchy.
Yeah. Stafford scares the hell out of me right now. I'm not going to lie. It could just, Buffalo is one of the best defensive teams in the league. No doubt. First game could be whatever. I don't know. I think there's more. The offensive line didn't hold up. It was just, it's one of those games, man, where you look at it and you're just like, they just don't look right. Maybe they got a hangover from the Super Bowl and they'll pick it up second half or something like that. But yeah, I am nervous for Stafford, man, for sure.
I honestly, and I, if you guys hear in and out of Alex, it's because he said currently his neighbor's dogs are barking their heads off. So you may see him cut in and out. I currently am still okay. So let's dissect this a little bit. Matthew Stafford, I'm not hitting the panic button yet. That's me. It sounds like you are. Alex, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Elbow?
Elbow. Honestly, I'll tell you what, if there wasn't the elbow, talk before the season and all that sort of stuff, I don't think I would have any concerns. But maybe it's like a legitimate concern. He didn't practice at all with A-Rob, so there was no chemistry there. So how long is that going to take to pick up? Cam Akers didn't. He was barely on the field. So like, who's his passing back? If anyone kind of maybe more comfortable, it's Higbee.
See,
it's
hate
gross.
this
It's gross, but he had a good target share. He had a good amount of targets. If he continues that, he could be a viable. He's not going to be top 5, but he could be a top 8.
If you don't feel that he could be top 5, it's almost like, I guess bench him, but like, what's the point at that? Like, he's getting so many targets and he is just so bad. I think Higbee's one of the worst tight ends in the league. He had a clear drop. I think it was on 3rd down, and it drove me up a wall.
Yeah, but how many tight ends are going to be like? Dude, you got to look at it. Like, how many are the upper echelon tight ends? Like, there's not a lot, right?
There's like 3 or 4.
But if you can get somebody that's going to get you 10 to 15 points every game, it's kind of a lock. Which if this is how it's going to be moving forward with this team, I don't see a path where he's not going to get 10 points a game. Then he's a viable start. Like you can plug him and not really worry about it. Where if you're plugging in Irv Smith, if you're plugging I don't want to say Cole Kmet yet, like that's whatever. But like David Njoku, like you don't know where these guys are going to be week to week because 1 week you might get 20, 1 week you might get 2. Like that can kill you that week. But if you know you're going to get 10 to 15, I'd much rather have that than someone that can get you 20 1 week or 5 the next.
I have a tough time thinking that after they got their butts smacked and it was worse than the score showed, that this is their offense. A-Rob to me is going to get more involved. I'm not worried. That was an eye opener, but I'm not worried for A-Rob. The more
I would be. I don't know why you guys aren't. I would be worried about it.
Why? Just the amount of routes ran, and
I don't. It doesn't matter. To me, it's like the amount of routes ran. Like I think he was open. Not those. You're looking at zone defense film and thinking he's open. Like it's open because Stafford's not looking there. And it's not even that he's open. He's open for he's not getting off the line quick. He really isn't. When he's getting open, it's after a play is developing and the zone is shifting.
That's not true. Like there was plenty of routes in that video. Did you watch the video? I'm assuming you watched the route.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was plenty of times.
There was like 3 times he was wide open. The rest of it, I'm telling you guys,
I don't know about wide
Stafford
open.
adjusts to even look at it. It's the same thing that was the Bucs were doing last night. How they're adjusting the zone, it's confusing to where it can look open, but they're not open. They're waiting to bite. The amount for Stafford to adjust and get the ball there, they're ready.
Well, so let's I guess before we go to Buffalo, I think we're all kind of victory lapping our Cam Akers takes. This whole group was pretty low on him. We pretty much said, guys, fade the Achilles. Cody was the one that was kind of pioneering the Darrell Henderson charge back in June, which none of us really were necessarily on board, but not necessarily against. So we were all saying fade Cam Akers for where he's going. Never really mentioned Darrell Henderson. Cody did, and I feel strong about that still.
For the most part, I think besides Cody, all of us were kind of like, avoid this backfield. Like, we don't know really what's going to happen. I mean, Henderson, I think we were all kind of like, if you can get him late, grab him, because you don't really know what'll happen. Like, he was kind of like a dart throw, but Cody was like, I'm getting him in every draft. So
and he did.
Yeah, and he did. Yeah.
That's one narrative from this game that I am all convinced, like, this is what we saw. It's going to take a Darrell Henderson injury for anything else.
Yeah.
Which he,
and then
he even
the comments post game from Sean McVay saying, he has to maximize his opportunity.
He's not pass protection.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, what he said didn't make me any more. It wasn't like, hey, we wanted to work him in slowly. Hey, he's got to maximize what he's going to get, and that's it. Like, it wasn't like he'll get more opportunity. It was like, this is what he's going to have.
And that's why I said that, because like that's what I think that's what he's referring to when he says he's not maximizing. Alex, we'll dig into more of this A-Rob conversation another time. Yeah. I am not convinced. Alex is all out, it sounds, and I think Robbie's a little bit on the edge here.
I don't think I was ever as high as most people on him. I think he's still going to be a top 24 receiver. I'm fine with that, but I think he's a low end wide receiver too.
I had him at 24, right around that area before season. Mm-hmm. Got him in a ton of my leagues, so I was kind of hurt. Buffalo, a couple things. Josh Allen still QB1, clear. He is throwing better. That looks clear. He's becoming a dominant force in the air. I wish he runs less. Truthfully, that is a personal take. I know he's big. I know he's fine, but like, it's going to catch up. We've seen it before. We don't have to discuss that necessarily. That's like my own personal fear. And I know Alex is kind of on the same page with that. Stephon Diggs really kind of looked like, man, he's that dude. And it's like, you know how we always talk about like, who's the next Cooper Kupp, all of this. Like I, and maybe I'm false remembering this, but Stephon Diggs has always been kind of like a bigger play, not like a Deshaun Jackson, but a bigger play receiver. He was looking into him often.
Yeah, last year, I would say last year is more of kind of a big play, but he seemed to get it every game. Though year before, though, he was very, very he was kind of just the focal target for Josh Allen. When Josh Allen was, I think Allen may have taken a little step back passing last year during the regular season as opposed to 2 seasons ago. But 2 seasons ago, man, he was getting those targets. And last year, he had over, I think, 150 targets. So like he gets the targets. I think he is, for me, besides like we talked about it at the beginning of the season, besides Cooper Kupp, JJ, like those guys, I think he's the safest top 6 receiver to draft. You take him at the end of round 1, beginning of round 2, and I think he's just going to produce week to week.
Yeah, I mean, he sure does. It looks that way, and he's playing well. And it was really promising for anybody that got him late in drafts, probably some end of first round, early second, even crazy. Alex, what do you make of this backfield? So, like, we saw James Cook fumble the first touch he had. Zach Moss was involved quite a bit, not necessarily efficient, involved in the passing work. Devin Singletary was clearly the best performing back of the night. How are you feeling about this whole situation? I know it's near and dear to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still high on Singletary. I don't know when it's going to happen, but he clearly is the best back out of this rotation. Moss got a lot of third down, but early on, Singletary out carried him. He got the attention early on. Third down, Zach Moss got it. I don't think James Cook is really going to be that relevant, and if he is, it might be in the second half of the season. With the Bills, they're going to be so dominant to where I like Stephon Diggs, but I think there's going to be some games where Davis does better. Not because I think Davis is a better player. I just think they're a dominant team. I think they're coached very well. They are stacked all over that team to where if other teams start focusing on Diggs, or they start focusing on Allen in the red zone and the run game, they're going to make adjustments. I think later on Singletary gets more involved. I think Allen runs less. At least that's my hope. If Allen does run less, Singletary benefits the most.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm like fearful. It's just because this backfield has never quite panned out the way that anybody. I think Singletary
until
is
an injury
back.
happens.
Exactly. Singletary has looked the better back for a while. Last year, he got a lot of work towards the end of the year when Zach Moss was out.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those, like, you're wishful thinking that the coach will finally see it, but it just doesn't seem to pan out. Then you also have Josh Allen vulturing TDs, not every time.
That's the concern.
It happens.
That's the concern.
I mean, going back to what you mentioned, though, and I'll hop this over to you, Rob, and then we'll move to the next game. Gabe Davis showed that he was not just a one-hit wonder from the Kansas City playoff game. He looked pretty good, some blown coverage, but nonetheless, the opportunity was there. And I think that's really what people have been harping about the most. I've kind of been indifferent about Gabe Davis, not necessarily on board, not necessarily off board, just kind of love the people that are all about it, though. It's really funny.
I'm for Gabe Davis.
Yeah. I was with you, Mario. I think I was in the camp of like, I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 1. I don't think he'll be wide receiver 3. Like, he'll be somewhere in there. He's good. He's good. He's really got a perfect quarterback for him. He's got, he has Stephon Diggs on the other side that's going to draw those double teams, and he'll get those singles,
He's a big bull.
And for him, man, it takes 3 or 4 big catches, and he's going to have 20 points. Like, he has every avenue, both of them do, to be wide receiver 1s. Both of them, it would not surprise me if they're both in the top 12. It really won't.
Not happening.
Gabe Davis, low key, is Allen Robinson.
Why do you say it won't happen? It happened a couple years. Lockett and DK Metcalf.
I'm not saying that's impossible, Rob. That's not what I'm saying.
Why do
Josh Allen runs way too much in the red zone, and I should say end zone, within the 5 for this to become a thing. So Russ doesn't run that much. I mean, he runs, but not at the goal line.
That's fair. But for me, I look at Gabe Davis as like, he's going to break one almost every game. Like, he has that path where, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's got a ton, like I'm not gonna say Jamar Chase like season from last year, but like in that kind of category where it's like he gets 4 or 5 catches a game for 85 yards and a tutty. Stephon Diggs, man, he is always in the top 5 in red zone targets year to year. Like, I'm not worried about his red zone share. Like, he will still get his amount of end zone targets. Like, I'm cool with where he's gonna be, and he's gonna pile up 10 receptions a game as well. So, like, I truly do think that there's a path for both of them to be top 15 receivers.
I think currently I'm like within the 20 range, but I mean, he looked good, and it proved me wrong not to be a little bit more in on him. Let's go over to the New Orleans versus the Falcons, where my 2 Pitt stands need to explain to me, where the hell was he?
Yeah, I wrote about this. If you read my article. So
I did.
If you read what I wrote.
If all of you read my article, everyone out there listening. So this was kind of one of my guys that he's an early season trade target of mine if I don't have him on my team, which is only all but one. I said the first 2 games for him is probably the toughest 2 matchups week to week for a tight end the entire season. No matter, like, New Orleans Saints is one of the best defenses against a tight end in the league. And then next week, he's got another tough matchup. This is kind of what I saw happening. Again, Mariota's there. They're going to have to get on the same page, and that's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of chemistry. So that's going to happen. Next week, I think is going to be another kind of low-scoring week for him, and then I'm going to try to trade for him. Because before this week, he was untouchable. I think if he has another bad week, he becomes touchable, and you're going to be able to throw something enough at him to get him. And if that happens, I would do it all day, because after these 2 games, it's going to be, I think he's going to tear the league apart.
So I think there's a couple things that I want to add to that, and then we'll go to more in Atlanta. Marcus Mariota, this is something that, and I know it's just sitting on, what's up, Albert? I know it's just sitting on my head right now, but Marcus Mariota does not protect himself when he runs. He'll run. It'll be a nice play. Him and Daniel Jones have zero clue how to do the baseball slide and surrender themselves. It's bad. And like, I know Alex is kind of side-eyeing me a little bit, but like it's really, they're not big enough to do this Josh Allen type of run. It was happening the whole game. And I'm going to say it. I don't think Mariota stays in all season if he keeps running like this. It is dangerous.
That's good, right, for you?
Well, I mean, I like Desmond Ritter, but I don't want to.
You've been saying this all offseason. You think that Ritter?
I'd rather Desmond Ritter be in the game.
You've been saying that you think that everyone takes a step up if Ritter comes in, correct?
I think so.
So,
I don't
either, because I think Mariota played very well. Very well.
He finished top 10 in fantasy. He did not play bad.
I'm talking NFL wise. In the case, I don't even know.
I'm talking NFL wise. That team is bad, and
he was zipping the ball around, man.
Yeah, he did not.
He looked good.
He did not look bad at all. I
didn't necessarily even say like he looked bad. I just don't necessarily. I mean, I was a proponent
he needs
of
to fall more delicately. I agree.
Sure.
He needs to learn how to slide back.
I agree, but when he's in there,
he's
man,
not going to last. All right, go to Cordarrelle. So Cordarrelle freaking picked up right where he left off from last season.
Early season. End of the season, he faded.
Yeah.
This is my concern. Thank you for pointing that out. Are you trying to buy him? Are you selling him? Like, where are you hold? I almost wonder, because of your value that you got him, you might just get the points while you can.
True.
I think it's a hold is probably your best bet here.
Yeah, it's a hold. I mean, you got him so late, and we were talking about this off air, Mario, that I think it's going to be a very similar season to last year, where at the beginning of the year, he's going to look very good. Probably the first 8 to 10 weeks, he'll look real good, give you RB1 numbers, and then leading up to playoff, I think he's just going to fall off a little bit.
You agree, Alex?
Yeah, probably. The thing is, and I think a lot of us tend to just forget this, that we don't ever really, like, when we look at draft picks, we don't look at the numbers. We don't look where they were drafted. We almost trust ourselves more than scouts and GMs do. And in certain situations, I think you can overhype a rookie to where, like, you fade Patterson.
Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Pierce.
He was a healthy scratch, right?
Yeah, he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with Dameon Pierce. It's like, is he really that good, or is that backfield that bad?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear too many people. I don't think too many people are clamoring for Algier this offseason.
No, but what he's saying is like the Algier fear was riding
into get into touches, that he was going to be goal line touches. Like, they were thinking maybe a 60-40 share. That was a lot of the hype coming out.
I think there was a lot of like downplay in Cordarrelle, including myself. I didn't necessarily talk about Tyler Algier at all, because I didn't know what this backfield was going to look like. I didn't expect Atlanta to look like this in general.
I think it's more so the offensive line, it's just a scary. That's why I was kind of lower on him.
Oh, yeah,
they're just not great. Mariota being there helps them out because they can run more RPOs and kind of disguise what they're going to do. You want to talk about not going to last, Mario, with Mariota. Dude, Patterson runs like a bull, and he looks to take somebody out with him every play.
He's big.
Dude, he's big, but like you can only take so many of those shots and he's older. Like,
and he's 6'4".
You can only take so many of those before something happens.
He's tall. I'm much more comfortable with Cordarrelle taking shots than I am with what I was seeing from Mariota.
For sure.
Let's flip.
But I'm just saying, in a 17-week season, like, it's going to catch up. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he'll fade in the back half just because of, like, those kind of shots he's taking.
Let's flip sides on this game. So New Orleans, kind of, I don't want to say surprising. There was one surprising piece, which Albert just asked about. Are you guys worried about Alvin Kamara? And I'll go through the three of us because I'm going to give you guys my take. My take early on in the season was I didn't expect his target share to be the same as it always has been. From week 1, we saw exactly that. Jarvis got a ton of targets, more than probably anybody projected. And then Olave had some. Taysom Hill took some carries still. I mean, I am worried in the sense of if he was drafted as a top 12 back, I'm not seeing that happen. I know it's week 1.
I'm with you.
I don't want to get too crazy. I saw Alex shaking his head, so I'll turn over to Alex here.
No, I mean
RB1. I think I said wide receiver 1. RB1.
I think it's really early with Kamara. I think the game script and what was going on kind of changed some things. He didn't look bad when he was playing. I do think he gets more touches. I think the offense overall is surprising. I mean, I think people were like, "Oh, it's not that surprising," but there wasn't a lot of people who thought this offense was going to be as good as what it looks like it could be with a healthy Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry.
Second half of the game.
Second half. First half was rough.
Sloppy.
I mean, none of these guys really played preseason games.
The offensive line looked terrible.
MT didn't.
Michael Jameis Thomas. I mean, like
that's what I took away from this game. Rewatching it was just that the offensive line looks so bad against Atlanta. Like Atlanta's got a good defensive front, but
they made adjustments.
They did, but still, it scared me. Kamara was only on the field 62% of these snaps. You think that would have been higher? They were down. I mean, they were down the majority of this game. You would think that they'd want their best playmaker on the field, right? That's what's throwing me off is like, why wasn't he on the field the entire third and fourth quarter when they're down multiple scores? Like if they were up, sure, I could see Pierre, who's their backup RB?
Ingram. Mark Ingram.
I could see Ingram.
Say Pierre Thomas.
Yeah. I could see Ingram
still
getting
in college when he played.
I could see Ingram getting a lot more, carries when they're up because he's a big bruising back. He'll, get those tough yards. But the fact that Kamara only got on the field 62%, it does concern me. And I believe he had like a half a yard per reception or some shit like it was not a good game for him.
It was 2.5 yards, but it was bad.
Mario, like we were pounding the table the whole offseason that we think there's going to be big regression for Kamara this season. And like, I'm still on board with that. I think he's just going to not be great. Like I'm not in on it.
I think the part that you're saying, but not saying explicitly is we're pounding the table that the target share scares us. And week 1 has confirmed that, but it's week 1.
You were kind of concerned about target share. I was more concerned about
he ran well, didn't he?
I was concerned about the metrics. I was concerned about the metrics that I was the kind of more in-depth metrics previous to the season of his big play, all those like weird statistics of like 20 plus breaks and like all that sort of stuff drastically fell last year. And I think it's just going to keep regressing. That's where I'm at. I think he might be on the field 70%, but I just don't think he's going to bust those 60-yard touchdowns like he previously has. That has made him relevant because he did the majority of his damage in the previous years on not a lot of touches. It was always
super efficient.
It's very efficient, and I just think that's coming down. I really think it's coming down to kind of the norm, and that scares me because he's not going to get 25 touches.
No.
Let me close this out so we can move on to the next game. Taysom Hill is, if you're desperate, I mean, you're hoping for a big play.
No,
because he can fill in at the tight end. That's why I'm saying this. You're hoping for a huge play,
but
it's a desperation play. That's what I'm saying.
I'd rather have Higbee.
Super deep desperation.
Juwan Johnson was on the field. Juwan Johnson was on the field more than Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. Hill was only on. Hill was only on the field 20% of the game.
Yeah.
Like
James doesn't necessarily love his tight ends either. But I'm going to keep moving here. Just one more thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Jarvis surprised the shit out of me.
He looked great.
He looked great.
And I'll tell you,
he looked fast.
So
MT looked fast and great. Like both of them played differently than I've seen before.
Yeah. Just a quick note on that, and then we'll jump. I think this is the perfect situation for Jarvis, as opposed to he was supposed to be the number 1 in Cleveland, and I just don't think that's his skill suit. I think this is a great spot for him to come in. He could kind of be the 2A, 2B with Olave. Michael Thomas is that alpha. He can get in the slot and do what he does good and work those slot cornerbacks, get open and get a quick 15 yards. I think it's a very good spot for him, and he could be very fantasy relevant.
I saw a lot of Olave Rookie of the Year bets. That's their take. Not if Jarvis is playing like this.
Mm-hmm. It's not even just that team. The moral of the story is, hey guys, if Landry and Winston is available, if they're available in your league, snag them up.
Yeah.
They're both going to have really good years.
Yeah.
All right, moving to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. What a freaking game.
Yeah. That was great.
Rob, you had some notes on this, and I watched a lot of it because it was our CBS game here in Columbus. But I'll let you kick off with what you're thinking on here.
Yeah. So for me, the two things that just smacked me in the face were how bad both offense lines were. They were atrocious. I mean, especially
since
with scary. Yeah, that's the thing, man.
Good.
Since he put so much into this offense, I understand. That Pittsburgh's got Hayward and Pittsburgh has had TJ Watt. We don't know what's going on with him, but still, man, like it just did not look good. There was pressure in Burrow's face the entire game. If that's going to happen the entire season, like it did last year, because again, they got to play Pittsburgh again. Cleveland's front's good. Baltimore's front's good. Like those are their division. They got multiple games with all those teams. This is gonna I feel bad for Burrow, man, because he is elite. Like Burrow's elite. He was making plays left and right. He was scrambling around, trying to break tackles, throw. I mean, him and Chase are fine, no question about it.
Chase looks so good.
Mixon looked really good.
Mixon looked really good too.
Mixon looked really good, but other than that, I can't. I mean, I don't know how long he'll be out.
He's out first quarter, maybe second quarter.
Boyd's playable. They're playable. I guess this is more of a concern for Burrow's health, I guess, is dude, he's going to take a lot of shots. He's going to take a lot of shots.
I have zero concerns for Burrow. I didn't necessarily have him ranked where people had him at 5. I think it
also caps the ceiling, right? If this offensive line can't protect him and he can sit back there and just pick people apart, this kind of caps his ceiling.
Yeah, and this is
they were supposed to have the worst O-line last year. This isn't a surprise.
And they
went to the Super Bowl with a bottom 10 offensive line. I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers won an MVP with a bottom 5 O-line.
That's fine. I don't think he's going to be cute. I don't think he'll be a top 5 QB running around for his life.
He can be. I'm not saying he is, but I think
it's tough.
If we're talking about finishes, he just put himself in a huge hole to finish in that top 5 when he doesn't run very much. So it will be an uphill battle now. Going forward, can he be a top 5? Something about Burrow just
QB6 last game, by the way.
Who?
Burrow.
QB6?
QB6.
With 5 turnovers?
2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, QB6.
That's crazy.
PPR league. That's what I'm saying.
Was he?
Yeah, he was QB6. So when you were saying he can't be top 5,
I am crazy then.
I don't think he doesn't have a worse game than this, and he was QB6. Just saying.
I also think that's a lot of the QBs this week had terrible weeks.
Sounds crazy, right?
Wait. He was not QB6, boys. Where is this coming from? He had 19.22 points. That puts him at 1, 2,
I'm looking
3,
at PPR.
4, 5, 6.
I'm on Fantasy Pros. They got him at 6.
It's
I have
11.
22.2 in a full PPR.
Yeah.
What does full PPR change anything? Patrick Mahomes finished higher than him. Josh Allen finished higher than him.
We're talking about these are different scoring formats, whatever we have. Because I'm on Fantasy Pros and they got him at 22.2 at QB6.
Yeah.
But again,
but I'm telling you guys, this is not. They would only boost everybody else. These are. He did not finish QB6. The Fantasy Pros isn't updated yet.
It says right here How's it not updated? 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 22 points.
Where did Lamar finish on that list? Where did Kyler finish on that list?
Lamar is 8th, Kyler 9th.
Yeah, Lamar
Jameis 7th.
Do they not have points for their rushes?
It might be you might be in a format that has more of a hit for interceptions. That's kind of what I'm
guessing. It's -2.
I'm just telling you what I am.
Boys, I am telling you, most formats, I am looking at it right now. In most, like, this is almost as standard as it gets. He finished QB 11, QB 12. Go look in your leagues. They're probably standard. It's
all my leagues are different, though. That's the thing. I have half point.
Regardless.
It isn't regardless because
it is regardless. If let's say he's QB 10 or 11, he's 2 points away from QB 5 in that league. Either way.
That's a good
There's
point.
a bunch.
He is only like 2 points away.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
either way, he's 40 yards away,
which 40 surprise me.
40 to 60 yards away. So,
yeah, I mean, he still threw for 338 yards. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Worst case,
I still find QB 5 is,
but I don't think that's like if he's running for his life. I think this will be like. He's going to have 2 or 3 picks a game, a couple touchdowns, and 300 yards. Like, he'll finish top 10. I'm not saying that. I think I have him at like QB 7. I don't think he's going to crack the top 5, and I think he'll be a drastic fall from like where the top 5 guys are. I think there's going to be a big gap between those guys.
It really chaps my ass.
I mean, they were just like, we're talking about those people that were kind of pounding the table. He's going to be QB 1. Like, I just don't see it. And I'm not putting him in the same breath as Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. I'm not doing that yet.
I get that.
I agree too. I think T. Higgins will help when he gets back.
I'm not disagreeing. I can't say shit until he actually is on the field, and if he doesn't perform, then I'll kick you in the nuts. But until then, I'm still for T. Higgins.
All right, let's do some rapids on this one.
Yeah, let's crack
Deontay Johnson. If you didn't draft him, I feel bad for you. He looked very involved. It looked just like what we saw. He is so
12
good.
targets.
He's getting better. Chase Claypool, if you can buy relatively low, close to what he was drafted for, I am all about it.
So the scary part,
very much involved.
Not the scary part. I mean, yeah, he's very, very involved. He had a couple end arounds. They were trying to get him the ball in creative ways. Dude, he was on the field 92% of the game. Yeah. That's crazy. Deontay was only 81%. Pickens was 70, which is low for a wide receiver. And then obviously Najee.
He's a rookie. With a good wide receiver.
I'm just saying, like, people were so high on this guy, saying he's going to be the next, coming up.
I just think it's crazy that we talked about that. I think the person who was lowest on Claypool was House. Like, he just crapped on Claypool being just this fall down machine. But he's talented, man. He's super talented.
The thing of it is that, like, I just kind of took a knock on Pickens, but he helps Claypool a tremendous amount because you can put Claypool where he belongs is in the slot. Like, he's a big slot receiver. That's where he did all his damage in college, and that's where he did all his damage his rookie season. Is when he was in the slot, and they can get creative with him. And I think that if he stays there this season and he doesn't have to worry about getting flexed outside, like, he can do some damage and get some real fantasy points. And you drafted him late. Like, it's a good, he was a good pick.
He's a buy. If you could buy him, he's a buy.
He's going to be involved.
Just a note before we move to your favorite game, Alex. House had him highest over all of us, but he did shit on him verbally. But he definitely had him highest ranked at, I think, 37. I wish I was a little higher preseason because I kind of his numbers were very similar year after year, just without touchdowns the second year. So it was weird that we all started hating him. I don't quite have a grasp on what I project him to finish at this year because we need to see more from Mitch, I think. Yeah. New England versus Miami. Alex, you want to give some takeaways on this game and how you felt and how sad you are? And if you need some tissues, I could go grab some.
I'm going to do this quick. Dolphins look okay. The run game is going to suck again.
I think that's the bold take right there.
No, I think
I thought they looked good.
I think they look okay. Tua looks okay. Tyreek is
defense
great.
is legit.
The defense is solid. I think it's more of we as Pats fans, we knew going in the last month and a half. We had high hopes finishing the season. The last month and a half, every day out of camp, things aren't running well. Lines not moving well. The coordinator issue is an issue. They don't really have a real offensive coordinator.
Patricia's calling the plays.
Yeah, and
that's
Patricia's
when you know things are bad.
Shit. So he looks
dog water.
He looks like if Santa Claus smoked pot all day and just didn't want to do anything. That's what Matt Patricia looks like. But it's going to be an issue. Mac Jones, he's fine. I'm not worried about it. It's a very okay wide receiver core. For them to be successful, they're going to have to do the same thing they did last year, and they're going to have to run the ball, and the defense is going to have to keep them in games.
So I think one of the biggest questions I have for you after hearing you say that is I thought Tua looked good.
He looked okay. He looked okay.
I mean, he made the plays. He did everything you could ask out of the QB.
He looked like Mac Jones, I think, would look like with that same wide receiver core.
Maybe.
But
I'm just being honest.
He didn't look like Patty Mahomes. I agree with you there.
The Pats defense is good. Like, they're good against the
They're
Pats.
supposed to be.
Parts, though.
They're supposed to be, but they got a lot older. And let's not forget, what is it? The Pats are like 1-7 against the Dolphins in the last 8 games.
Sure.
They don't beat the Dolphins. They don't ever beat the Dolphins. They always lose to the Dolphins.
It's weird.
It's just a thing. But Tua, yeah, he completed a lot of passes. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to be high completion percentage. But I didn't see him really take any risky shots. He didn't take any red zone shots.
Doesn't have to with this receiving.
That's what I'm saying. He's okay.
Get him the ball, man.
I just don't like he's not Patty Mahomes. He's not Joe Burrow. Do I think he's a QB2? Yes. Is he QB1? I still don't think so.
Could be a low end.
With the weapons, he could be. My biggest, I mean, the
I don't hate him.
Biggest takeaway from this game is
hate him.
Jesus Christ. So I think Waddle and I think Tyreek, they're both going to be really good. I think they're both going to have their games as well, where like one will go off for 25-30 and the other one might take a back seat that game. But man, Gesicki, dude, he what do you have, 1 target? Like, and he was only on the field 40% of the game or something like that. Like, he is definitely, they just don't like him there for whatever reason it is.
They've been trying to trade him.
Yeah, that's
I
not
think
the
so
way
too.
to
I
do
just
it.
posted that. I just tweeted that.
It's my
buy Gesicki now.
Yeah, it's not. Honestly, it's not a bad idea to trade for him in your league, get whatever you can for him, and hopefully the Dolphins trade him.
You are banking on him getting traded. If
100%.
42% snaps says we're trying to keep him healthy because I think we're shopping him still. That's exactly what I saw.
They are shopping.
Okay, he's not bad, but for fantasy, where he's a pass catching tight end, he is Kyle Pitts light.
Don't you dare put them in the same breath.
It's the same type of tight end.
All right, let's keep this moving.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
I said light. Relax. Chase Edmonds is somebody that I actually really liked his role on the offense. He finished RB33 on the week. He's going to see passing work. I don't trust Mostert's health. It's somebody that, like, if you can get for RB33 price, I think he finishes higher than that.
Yeah, I do too. He had the most rushes. I think 12 to Mostert's 4 or 5, something like that.
I really like everything I saw out of him.
I think it'll be fine.
New England,
and
he can do this. He can't do this.
I think he'll be fine.
Kind of like what you want for RB33 price, though. I'd rather have the pass catching back. And he's still getting.
I'm confident McDaniels will figure. I mean, he is probably the best run game coordinator. Like, he will figure the run game out. He is brilliant in the run game. He'll figure it out because that's like how he got to where he is.
Rush game coordinator.
Dude, that's how he got to where he is.
The Cards were okay with keeping Connor and seeing Edmonds go.
He'll figure it out.
Which is bad, and it proved wrong.
What?
They looked bad. New England, as far as fantasy assets go, Mac Jones is not going to hit anybody's radar. this backfield is definitely a 50-50, and neither of them did all that great.
I think they're both rosterable. I wouldn't start either until you see it.
No.
That's probably the best assessment of it. The problem is for either of these guys, because they went right around the same. If you did the I'm fading RB2 position, that's your best option in some leagues. So
or Miles Sanders.
Yeah, that could have been a good one. Who would have known? So, I mean, I think what Rob said is absolutely true. If you have them and you have other options, such as Miles Sanders, Cordarrelle, if you grabbed Cordarrelle,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
Clyde. If you grabbed any of those guys,
we could talk about. Are we getting to that game? Yeah, we'll get there. Go on.
Let's go to Jackson and Washington, and I'll have you start it off, Rob.
Okay, sure.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, Robinson's back. Robinson's back. Like, that's what I got out of this game, Jacksonville. I mean, Mario, I'm sorry, you're Travis Etienne. Like, I was with you, but
nothing's changed for me.
Man,
Nothing.
It's weird.
Nothing.
I mean,
this much.
But like I feel like that if you go and watch these episodes, I talk about it relentlessly. I don't care what role J-Rob plays in this offense. I don't. I want Etienne because dude, he was 2 easy catches from 2 TDs yesterday. The narrative would have been completely different. It would have been vastly different. It was 2 wide open on a wheel route, dropped another one that was up here. His fault. I agree. It was his first NFL game. So hold on. I know, because I feel like you were leading me into there, but I was ready for it also. I put out before a stat, and I don't have it in front of me currently, about Jamal Williams and how D Swift had about 4 or 5 points more every time Jamal had more than 13 touches. Mm-hmm. I compared this to the Jamal and Swift backfield the entire offseason, and that's how it still is. They were 50-50 split. He didn't get as many carries as I would like. I would like the 7, my 7 number. But like literally 2 passes away from having a completely different game. 12 more points.
The scary part, I mean, I'm with you. I think he'll be fine. I'm not getting down that road. But the scary thing for me is he only got 4 targets. That's the scary part.
That's what I'm saying. It's still only 4 targets.
I would expect that to be like closer to 8. If he's only going to get how many rushes did he have? 4
targets.
He had dude. He only had 4 rushes. Like, you would assume if he's only going to get 4 rushes, like, you would expect him to have a lot more targets in the pass game.
And I'm not freaking out, but the ceiling is lowered.
I'm not freaking out just because it was a 50-50 snap share between the two. If I'm pretty positive that's where I saw it. So I'm not freaking out, I think. And what I will say about the Robinson thing, it's a big difference from Robinson and Cam Akers, just because like the Achilles takes away your quickness. That's what, like, when you don't come back from an Achilles the right way, it's because you lose your burst, you lose your quickness. Robinson never had burst. Robinson was never a shifty back. He just put his head down and ran through people and just like got those tough yardage. And I think he'll be okay. Like, that's what he's done before. Like, I don't think he really loses. I think his Achilles injury is way different than a lot of other people's. So I think he'll be fine this year for fantasy. He might be like RB20, something around there. Like, he'll be serviceable. You can play him, you can flex him if you need him. I think Etienne will be fine. Like, they'll work him in. They're gonna find a way to get him the ball because he is good. But again, man, it also could be he's coming from that Liz Frank injury, dude. It could take some time for him to get going.
Yeah, Alex is gonna hate every bit of what I say next. I would say sell high on J-Rob.
You're so stupid.
This is my concern. If you watch the game, and it was also a video that was sent out a month ago, but it's definitely closer now. If you watch the game, there is a noticeable difference between both those leg sizes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
He is out there early. I get it. The medical professionals cleared him. I understand it.
Taking a bite of that who gives a crap pie right now.
Dude, it's just the fact that we just saw it with Godwin though. Like, you guys can argue all you want that it had nothing to do with his ACL, but it likely did. Like, they put Godwin out there 9 months removed from his ACL. Now he has a hamstring sprain.
Same thing happened with Saquon last year too, to be honest. His leg size was like
I'm not necessarily like gonna say, okay, he's for sure having an injury. But if you could get something really good right now for J-Rob, which I don't know if his value is that high yet. Maybe it takes another week, maybe it takes another 2. And you can go somewhere more sustainable, in my opinion, or if you need a wide receiver, that's what I would do. But I understand RBs are thin, J-Rob looked great, and you got to test your luck, throw it, because you can never predict these things. It just seems like the risk of J-Rob getting hurt might be a little bit higher than some of our other running backs that we look at. That's all I'm saying. And I feel
RB11.
He looked good.
Yeah.
He ran hard.
Yeah, he does. He always does. I'm just saying.
For Washington, well, hit me up with the wide receivers on Jacksonville, because both of you have been pounding the table for what?
Kirky, baby.
Yeah.
Kirky. I mean, just the dude is going to get salted with a ton of targets, man. He is just going to get he's going to have over 10 targets a game. I am fully comfortable saying that. I don't see – I mean, they paid the money for him. They know what they want to do with him, and they're going to do it.
Cardinals are stupid. They're dumb.
He's good.
He's so good. Dumb.
I'm really pissed I traded him back to you, Mario.
Yeah. He's great. He's this guy can finish top 10, and it wouldn't surprise me.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, you can go that far. I got him. I got him on my team. Who needs him?
I wouldn't go that far. I think.
Why not? If he gets, let's put it this way: if he gets, think about it. If he gets 14,
this is Gabe Davis to me, Rob. So you should be doubling down on this. I guess it's Trevor Lawrence versus.
If he's getting 14 targets a game, why can't he? Why can't
I don't think he's gonna, because I genuinely don't like. Let's look at this game, right? Like this could very well be one of his better games of the season. Okay, 12 targets. He only came away with 6, but that was kind of 6 receptions. But that was kind of Trevor Lawrence's like MO last year. Was like his completion percentage wasn't great.
Robbie hype with a side of pessimism, huh?
Well, I'm just kind of.
This is an interesting course.
No, but dude, I was high on him because of where he was getting drafted. Right, he was like wide receiver 35, and I said when we had our talk with, was it Norton or it was somebody when we did our kind of like our low level targets. He was one of my guys because where he was going, I just didn't understand it because I think his floor to me is like wide receiver 25. Like, I think that's where his floor is. I think his ceiling's kind of capped around wide receiver 15. Like, I think he'll fall in between there. Just because, like, this could very well be one of his better games. 6 receptions, 12 targets. And I think that's where it'll be, like, closer to probably 60, 70% of, so, like, say 8 receptions. But 115 yards, that's very good for the amount of receptions that he had. Very good. And then, like, I don't think he's going to have a lot of touchdowns. Like, I just don't see it because he's not a big body. They're not going to, like, and he doesn't stretch a field vertically too much. Like, he's more of a kind of middle of the field.
That's how I remember Christian Kirk. He had a big 50-yarder this game.
Antonio Brown was thought the same way. I'm not saying he's Antonio Brown, but tell Antonio Brown he can't get touchdowns. Tell Steve Smith he can't get touchdowns. You know, like,
we'll see.
If they want him to run those routes, he'll be successful.
Game 1, he didn't get any. So
you're wrong, Alex.
You know, I don't know.
I didn't say he's gonna have 17 touchdowns.
But look, I'm just like he had a very, very good game. He's still wide receiver 19.
All right.
You know, like, I think this is where he'll be.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's going to be wide receiver 2 relevant. You can plug him. I think he's a great flex option all season long. I just don't know, like, I don't think it'll be anywhere near wide receiver 1, personally.
Alex, give us the low on Washington, because this is something that we didn't talk about. But I do want to, before I hand it over to you, I feel like I'm already ready to eat crow on Antonio Gibson. And now I'll turn it over to you.
Antonio Gibson, I'm going to be quick. Keep him at least for the first 4 weeks. It doesn't matter unless you're getting something. You're getting offered something ridiculous. Keep him. it's going to benefit you more than to trade him for something that's not really good. I think he'll have a really good 4 games. Carson Wentz is going to have a great year. Not that he had a bad year last year. Curtis Samuel's looking like Curtis Samuel. McLaurin will get more targets.
Take that, Alex.
What do you mean? I drafted Curtis Samuel.
Who was it? You and House slandering me and Mario on our Curtis love? Who was that, Mario?
It wasn't Alex. Alex has loved him for a while.
Yeah, House was all about taking shots.
Yeah, he was crapping on him. I was crapping on there's overhype with Ohio State receivers like Campbell.
He does that a lot.
Yeah. But Curtis Samuel, obviously, he's looking like if he stays healthy, he could be really well.
Yeah.
Overall, division is Commanders and Eagles this year, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Dude, Wentz looked great. And I think Antonio Gibson has finally solidified a role that should have been his from the start, which is that pass catching back. Like the dude converted from wide receiver, and we still had J.D. McKissick out there catching balls for 6 yards. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Antonio Gibson's running full on routes, being a dog and dominating. I feel like that is week one takeaway that as long as he stays healthy, I am going to be eating crow. Like I think I was wrong about him. Which he went well in the first. I thought it was Curtis Samuel. I think that fumbled.
He did.
I thought it was him, and I started texting like, "Oh no!" Because really, he's on the limit of like, if he fumbles once, he's probably sitting for a portion of that game.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he's at with that.
Year.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it looked good. I hate it. I am not excited about him being. I mean, that sounds shitty. I just was not expecting him to be good. He burned me last year.
Yeah, I mean, I have no concerns about T-Mac. He only had 4 targets, but he was on the field 90% of the routes. Jahan Dotson, dude, 88% of the plays he was on the field. Like that's great for a rookie. That's crazy. So I think he's going to be very relevant. And I like Gibson. Like, yeah, I'll probably eat crow with you on that too, Mario, with Gibson. I still want to see it when Robinson's back, and we'll see where this whole thing shakes out. I still think it'll be jammed up back there.
Maybe, but like I feel like if Antonio Gibson holds that pass catching back role with rushes, he's still fine. Like I do think
I just want to see it.
Brian Robinson will, yeah. Let's go to Kansas City, Arizona. And I think I'm going to pretty much let you both go on this one outside of maybe some small commentary. I did think the Cards looked horrendous. And that is a team that I felt like was very messy coming into the year.
Yeah.
And I mean, Connor saved his day with a TD.
That was his season last year.
I saved his season last year with TDs. Although he was very involved in the passing game. So like kind of to the point that you were saying originally in preseason, Alex, is that like Chase Edmonds is gone. This is Connor's work. It showed that it was.
Yeah.
Eno Benjamin was involved, and I think he's more involved. He would actually be a waiver wire. He's probably my favorite waiver wire for this week for me. But go ahead, boys. Who wants to start? You want to start with this, Alex?
Sure. Yeah. Kind of like I touched on before, the Cardinals have made a lot of stupid decisions. The Kyler drama that was going on, the money they paid him. I'm not saying Kyler doesn't deserve it, but they had other things they needed to work on, and their offensive line was it.
And he was 2 years out.
Yeah. I'm not a huge – I've never been a huge Hollywood Brown fan. He was solid last year, but to the Ravens, he wasn't worth paying. He was frustrating when he was there. He dropped a ton of passes while he was there. I don't love the offense. I think they can do enough to where some of those guys are still fantasy relevant, but it's going to be a rough year for them. That's a tough division.
I think it's going to be a really, really bad year for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Rob, do you want to touch on Kansas City?
Yeah, sure. Mahomes is going to be him, Herbert, and Josh Allen. Like he's just good, man. Like no other way to say it. Kelsey, tight end 1 again. Like just a beast. I don't know when he's gonna slow down, but it ain't this year. Juju was that guy this game. I'm kind of concerned that it could be week to week who's gonna be the guy.
Called it the wide receiver committee.
Yeah, I mean Juju looked really good in this offense, and you got Mahomes throwing to you. So, if you have him, you're probably happy. Like I would love to have him on my team. I just don't have any shares of him because I'm still kind of like, who will take that step in this offense? It could be him. It could be someone week to week. It could be who knows.
I'm waiting for
the Pacheco. He had the most carries. I think he was the better back. I think he's might be that guy there with some CEH sprinkled in.
Some CEH?
Dude,
what?
He really, like, I know he had a really good week fantasy wise.
Did you
watch
the game?
Yeah, he looked good, but it was all based off of
average yards, more yards per carry.
I get it. Like he looked good. I'm cool with it, but I still think they like Pacheco more. What saved him, man? He had 3 targets and he had 2 receiving touchdowns. Like I don't see that continuing. I really don't.
To Rob's point, that is literally what carried his day.
That's what made his day was he had 2 receiving touchdowns, and I just don't see it happening again. So, if I have him, I would trade him.
We have to keep in mind that there's a whole study out there. The vacated targets, Tyreek Hill, tend to fall into the running back's lap, and like Kelsey's rule didn't change. Juju didn't score a touchdown, did he?
No. I don't believe so.
I mean, this could be a rule for Clyde all season. Although on 3 targets, it makes it a little bit scary.
Dude. Like,
let's also touch on Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 70%, I think, of the snap share until after halftime.
He ended the game with 39% of the snap share.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
The second half,
I get that it was a blowout.
Points.
Like I get it. And Pacheco only had 23%, and he still had more carries.
Second half. I get it, but it was a blowout. So Pacheco got touches because it was a blowout.
Pacheco didn't even touch the ball until the second half.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards looked real. I'm not saying Pacheco's not going to get involved.
It was weird that
flip the switch. Instead of 12 carries for Pacheco, it's probably going to be 12 to Clyde Edwards-Helaire and 7 to Pacheco.
Yeah, I think that's the only weird part about it, Alex, is that Clyde only had 7 within the first half. But to your point, if they're only up 14, well, here's the thing. Like, if they're only up 14, do they just keep throwing? Because that's what they did in this game. That's what they did in the first half. I know, and that's the fear.
Exactly.
It's not a fear. I think if they blow out every team, if they're up to 21 points on every team, which could happen for majority of the games, but if that happens, then yeah, it's going to look weird. But if there's games where it's a decent game within 14 points the entire game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to get more touches.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, they were within 14 in the first half, and he only had 7.
Even 7 carries in the first half.
Say he gets 12 touches. Like that's his cap, dude. 12 touches is probably his cap rushing wise. He's not going to get.
I don't expect Helaire to get 20 to cut the carries. I'm expecting 16 touches. And 12 of those being rushes. And that's not a crazy. Sure. If he did 7 in the first half,
no, I don't think that's
12
crazy.
carries.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But think about it. If you get 12 carries and 4 catches, you're probably gonna have a pretty good day.
I love those stats. No, you'll be fine.
You'll be okay.
You can do that all 15. Year and be good. It is.
That's top 15.
Numbers show that it is.
I mean, his day was
not an RB1. But is he an RB2?
And I just don't see it.
He's an RB2.
That would have to be if you get 12 carries and 4 catches a game. Is he going to get 4 catches a game though? Especially with Jarrett McKinnon there.
Yep. We'll see. I'm excited to see how.
I'm happy with 3. I really am. I'd be happy with 12 and 3.
I just don't see.
You're wrong, Rob.
I don't see the touchdowns. It's where I'm at. But
I'm very in the middle on this because, like, I mean, I was grossed out by
CEH.
I was grossed out by CEH in the preseason. They were grossed out with him. It's not just me. Like, they have 3 backs on this offense. 3.
Yeah.
Besides him.
I still think it'll be it'll be muddled, man. It'll be muddled up.
Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league, and Kareem Hunt is there.
You got 22 touches. You got 22 touches.
Yeah, he gets a ton of work all the time.
They both
run the ball now.
That's the difference. They both get a ton of touches.
They
always run that
pass catching backs. McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire will both get a ton of opportunities catching the ball. This is again, what their offense is.
With what you were saying, if he does come out 12 carries, if he gets 3 receptions a game, I'm probably happy because then he just needs like 8 carries and he'll still end up pretty good.
Low end, you're around 10 points.
On this offense, especially with those are high valuable touches when you're getting 11 touches a game. Yeah,
we'll see.
I do want to see how he plays out. I am excited for Sky Moore still. That nothing has changed for me. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm still on.
No, I'm just kidding. I am. I really am. I just
traded for him.
He'll be good.
I'm stashing. It's a stash. I think
give him a couple weeks.
Redraft is a little scarier, but like he'll get in that rotation.
Yeah.
Let's go to the last game and then we'll head out of here. We got Monday Night Football starting in 15 minutes?
Yeah, we gotta get rolling.
Yeah,
gotta get rolling. Giants versus Tennessee. Okay, so I was rewatching this game and I found it one of the biggest. I guess not biggest. Tennessee's D-line look like they're going to cause some havoc for QBs this season. Not necessarily against the rush. They put pressure on Danny Jones like crazy. And I understand Giants O-line has seen way better years, but it was supposed to be improved, right? It was supposed to be a little bit of a better O-line. Barkley ran well. But they put the pressure on him. In my mind, Treylon Burks is a buy lowish after week 1. It wasn't like he was grossly involved, but I think you're buying his talent and you're kind of saying, I don't trust Robert Woods. Now, here's the thing. There's 2 things actually about Tennessee's offense. Kyle Phillips could be a PPR machine this season. He's, I think, an undrafted rookie. Tannehill looked at him often. Tannehill looked at him in big situations. I want to ask you boys this because in my mind, I am not buying this at all. Dontrell Hilliard, is he going to be a big waiver wire ad for you guys?
No.
No.
Me either. Because literally,
he did all his damage on like
3
5
targets.
touches. Yeah, some crazy.
It was like
so 5 touches he had.
Yeah, this was less than CEH, and he had 2 TDs. It was interesting to see that he's the kind of pass catching back. I think that is worth noting. But in this offense, it doesn't seem like that's going to be that valuable. I think Kyle Phillips might be a stash if you're a deeper league, 12-team, 14-team with a big bench. I think there's some upside there.
Dude, he had 29% target share, and he was only Phillips was 29% target share, and he was only on the field 50% of snaps. Like that's insane.
This is fun for me, Rob, when we're rewatching these games. I haven't looked up at any of these stats. So I'm just really going off of like what you kind of see.
He led the rookies. So he led rookies in targets with 9.
Muffed punt too, though.
Yeah, lost him a game.
Yeah, I mean he led the rookies in targets with 9. He led rookies in target share with 29%. He looked like he if he's on the field, it looks like Tannehill really likes going to him.
He does.
Like Treylon Burks only got 5 targets. So like who's going to step
Woods
up?
got what, 2, 3?
Who's gonna and it's just like he didn't look good too, you know what I mean? Like Woods didn't look good. He was on the field like 75% of the targets, and he only got 2 targets. And he's gonna command, like if anyone's gonna command the cornerback 1, it's gonna be Woods, at least for the beginning part of the year. So like he could get,
Phillips was playing
down
a lot
easily.
out of slot, I think.
Yeah, he's a slot guy.
Oh, yeah.
So like Tannehill goes there, 9 targets, 50% of the snaps. If that goes up, if that jumps up to like 70%, then it could be something serious.
I wouldn't worry about Derrick Henry either. I think watching this, I wonder if there's going to be the average fantasy football player seeing a 20 for 80. Rob's smiling at me and making me nervous. He looked fine. He really didn't look bad. He didn't look like a 20 for 80, honestly. And there was one blown up play that cost him like, I want to say 6-7 yards. He was 11 for 50 at one point in the game. It kind of slowed things down as the game progressed. The Giants defensive line looked pretty solid, even without their rookie that they just drafted. Why is Rob smiling at me? Is he excited about Derrick Henry
He's looking like he's in chocolate factory. He's looking at candy swaying back.
Because I have zero concerns about Derrick Henry. If that's what
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I was concerned all offseason, dude. You were all in. I was all out. Not out. I mean, I still think he's going to be RB1. Like he'll be top 8 running backs, but like I don't. They're not.
You two are the low guys on him. Jesus Christ, 9 and 7.
What receiver is scaring any defense? It was AJ Brown. Is it going to be? He had 5 targets, dude. He had 5 targets.
It was his first game.
Okay, and it was Kyle Phillips' first game. He had 9.
What did AJ Brown have his first game?
It wasn't that good.
Dude, regardless.
I looked at this recently.
Regardless. But it's not okay. You can say it's gonna be Treylon Burks. You can say that. But dude,
why is Alex laughing?
AJ, it's not AJ Brown coming into his 4th season where people know who the hell he is and they're gonna put attention on him. They're gonna be scared of him and they're gonna.
You act like Derrick Henry hasn't seen 8 in the box his whole career.
Dude,
you know how many targets AJ Brown had his first week?
4.
Cool. He went.
Corey Davis was there though. First round pick.
I could care less. You also. How many times did AJ Brown get them into the red zone where Derrick Henry could get the touchdown? Like how many times did that happen?
At some point, he's gonna get worn down a little bit.
Sure, but how many times how often are they even gonna be in the red zone this season with what they got working?
Derrick Henry is an October on player. It's always been this way. Just wait on it.
I agree. Don't get rid of it.
We talked about this.
Don't get rid of it.
We talked about this.
It's not a bust. But if you're expecting like 1,800 yard Derrick Henry, 2,000 yard Derrick Henry, it ain't happening.
I don't know if that's
look at his last year before he got hurt, dude. Last year before he got hurt, he was on like a 13. Pace no one's ever seen. Like he was on a pace that was crazy. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same, man. It just won't. Like I think he'll be good. He'll be good, but he's not going to be a top 5 running back.
I don't think so.
We'll think what you guys want.
So but like I said, we talked about
this. Let's flip this over. Is we're running out of time. Is Barkley going to be a top 5 running back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Were we all wrong on that one? Actually, I was the most rightest.
We bumped them. I mean, we've been talking about him. I think we really got serious about him probably the last month. Like the last month, we've kind of gotten serious about like, okay, Barkley's could be a league winner.
Well, because here's the thing. So, like both of you, great examples of this. No. I know. This is more or less saying what kind of shifted some of us. I mean, I changed them close to the middle of August or something. But the conversation came up throughout our group, kind of like, okay, so if you're gonna buy into CMC, why wouldn't you buy into Barkley?
Yeah, that's what the combo came into.
Offensive line isn't any different, maybe worse. The quarterback play wasn't any different, still kind of the same. So like that was what shifted a lot of us. And I mean, I'm lower on CMC for other reasons, but it made me realize like you guys are right. Like he's going to be getting all this passing work, but he dominated on the ground yesterday, just dominating.
I'm glad to see it.
He's back, dude. This is what he was 3 years ago. Like,
are we going to set ourselves up for a week 2 conversation where we're like, I got some concerns about Saquon Barkley?
I don't think so, man. Like, I think
I don't think
he's going to be good. Happen. They're going to, like, Dayball's a good coach. They're going to figure out how to get him the ball.
That was the biggest takeaway that I had.
We talked about that too, man. They got rid of that idiot.
Joe Judge was in more.
Yeah, I mean,
and we gave him back to the Pats. Barkley just looked pumped. Sterling Shepard too.
Aggressive.
Just looked pumped. And then them like having the relationship that they had with the ball, giving him a big hug at the end of the game, being pumped that he said, I got cojones and I'm going to go for it because I trust my guys. That was insane. I love that sort of
bro. That's how you win a locker room. Right there.
Easily.
That's how Matt Campbell won that Lions locker room.
Dude, that's how you get people to buy in.
Yeah.
Did you say Matt?
I think you did.
Did I? I was probably thinking of Matt.
I was like, right. I'm like, who the hell is Matt?
Santa Claus ass.
Yeah, you were mixing them. No, like dude, It looks like they love the ball. It was kind of sad.
They do love the ball.
Danny Dimes kind of in on that hype. He's just kind of like this the whole game. He is Eli Manning, dude. He looks just like Eli Manning. Everything about him is Eli Manning. Anyways, Sterling is still a stud. Torn Achilles wide receiver. Looked great. He really did. Only 2 receptions, I think. But for him to have the speed that he still does, expect him to just get progressively better throughout the year. The only concern that I have is this dude is always dealing with injuries. So if it's not one thing, it's kind of that fear.
You want to hear a crazy stat that I just saw?
It better be actually crazy, Rob.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It is. Okay. Cole Kmet, David Njoku, Kyle Pitts, and Irv Smith.
I think I saw this.
Combined for 26 receiving yards yesterday.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith had 33.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
It's crazy.
Like,
I know.
You could do that with so many, like the receivers. You want to take like all the receivers and put them behind Duvernay?
No.
Allen Robinson.
Hey, I had Duvernay love.
Not like my love, though.
No, probably not. But like,
not
I was
like
my
discuss
this. Wait, you guys are getting off track. We'll discuss Duvernay tomorrow. You can both come on if you want to. Robbie, you will be on there to talk about your supposed love. The only love I remember is Alex's. Though.
I'm gonna clip it.
You'll have to find it.
I'll find it.
Yeah. Good. Kadarius Toney was not involved in this offense. Do we expect that to change? The dude demands. He should demand.
What was that, man? What was that all about? He's good. Like when he got the ball, he looked really good. So
I think you might be able to find him on waivers this week.
Dude,
they're gonna trade him.
No way.
You think so?
I don't think so, man.
I think they trade him.
Why? Wandell is already hurt. 185 Wandell is hurt already.
I just think that he's already kind of a baby, and he's gonna demand targets.
I don't know
when
why
he's not gonna get him. He's gonna be a headache.
Stigma against Kadarius Toney
because he's the one who came out with the stigma.
Something must have happened. Like something must have happened.
He asked for a trade.
He said it was fake.
Well, there's no way.
It said he came out and said that was not true.
He played 7 snaps yesterday.
Yeah. And he looked good when he touched the ball.
Looked like the best player on the field.
Did.
Looked like the best player on the
field.
field.
Why do you hate Toney so much? He looks good. You know what? The actual another guy, another Giants receiver with injury concerns. The dude cannot stay on the field because of his health. Alex is pouting, and I don't know why.
This just hyper Toney. Like, yeah, he's an athlete. What round did they select Wandell Robinson?
First, I think, right? Second?
He was a second-round pick.
He wasn't first, yeah.
He was a second-round pick, and that's how much they love Toney.
All I know is when Kadarius Toney touches the ball, he looks like the best player on the field. So they'll figure
Robinson's
it out.
already hurt, and I think it's for like 4 weeks.
They'll figure it out.
Watching the preseason and watching routes run by Kenny Galladay and the crap he got, like Kenny Galladay doesn't want to be here. Guess who was out there longer? Kenny Galladay over Toney.
They'll figure it out. All right.
Okay.
This was the whole discussion, Alex. Why isn't he out there? Is that going to change?
I think he's an athlete. I think he's an athlete. I think when he gets the ball in his hands, he's really good. But could it be an attitude thing? Is it a route running thing? You know, all I know is they want to get Shepard and Galladay and Saquon and others the ball before Toney.
Outside of Barkley, Toney will be the one catching the ball.
You're on.
All right. Enjoy the Monday night football game. It probably starts in 2 minutes.
I want to go catch this. Let's roll.
Yeah. All right.
Tomorrow we'll be on for more game reviews from week 1. I guess we ain't covering Monday night tonight, so enjoy your lineups.
Sorry, people.
Excited. Let's see what the Broncos do. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's ride. At DadBodFS on Twitter, DadBod Fantasy Squad on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and DadBod Fantasy Squad on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and something with a C. Rob?
All the major platforms, baby.
For myself, for Rob, for Grumpy Alex. Peace.